I'm the Reverend Rachel Hayes, minister of this congregation. I use she, her pronouns. I call us to worship with these words from Kate Steinberg. Beloved companions, we arrive in this place where all we have to do is breathe. We don't have to impress or convince or win over. We don't have to know the words, "It's okay if we didn't read the book, or pass that class, or carry that title, or meet that mark." We don't have to be anything but who we are. Here we rest in essence together. And to move into this communal rest, we lay down our burdens, our longing, our craving, our unmet need, our error, our regret, our sudden disappointment, our anxiety, our shame, our sheer exhaustion, our bewilderment, our bafflement, our burgeoning terror. All of this we lay down together today. As we do this, may we be filled instead with presence. May we feel held in the comfort of our community. May we discover new compassion for ourselves and others. May we meet this moment with gentleness, ease, and gratitude. For this air we breathe together, for these questions we ask together, for the justice we seek together, for the songs we sing together. Amen. I invite you to say our congregation's chalice lighting words with me. We light this flame to invite a world of peace, where we heal the wounds, where we share what we have with one another, where justice is another word for relationship, and we listen for what love has to say. I invite you to rise in body, spirit, heart, and voice to sing our first hymn, which is a mashup of Be Ye Lamps and This Little Light. It's on the screen. And numbers 184 and 118 in the gray hymnal if you want to do the advanced version. Our soloist will sing the first part, and then we'll all sing together.
Be your own.
like to invite kids and anybody who likes to come close to join me on the steps for our time for all ages. So today we're going to talk about this guy. Does anybody know who this is? Yeah? Say it loud for everybody. Everybody. Buddha. Yeah. How did you recognize him?
He's bald.
He's bald. Okay. Any other thoughts? Because so many people said, oh, I know that guy. The face? What about his face that makes him Buddha?
His face is like smiling.
Oh, the smile.
Sort of like a very stylized version.
Yeah, so our screen image is also a very different Buddha. You ever notice how Buddhas have big ears? A lot of the Buddhas have stretched earlobes from when the historical Buddha Siddhartha was a prince and had really fancy, heavy earrings that he would wear, and they stretched out his ears. And then he gave up his earrings when he left being a prince to seek enlightenment. So a lot of the time you see Buddhas who have big holes in their ears. Any other things that you said, oh, that's Buddha? Yeah?
The circular nose.
The what?
Circular big nose.
The big nose? Okay. So one thing is the robe. Yeah, that he's wearing this monastic robe, and Clara sees something. He's sitting crisscross applesauce. Yeah. Okay. Does anybody want to change your seating posture after you see that? Like that? All right. So today we have a story from a Buddhist monk named Thich Nhat Hanh, who taught all over the world what Buddhism meant. And he's teaching here specifically for all ages and talking about a very young monk that he knew named Hu. Okay? When Hu was 6 or 7 years old, he asked his father and mother, I see that. I knew that. I should have known that was coming. He asked his father and mother if he could become a monk. Hu loved going to the Buddhist temple. He used to go there with his parents on new moon and full moon days to offer flowers, bananas, mangoes, all kinds of exotic fruits to the Buddha. In the temple, Hu was always treated with kindness. When people came to the temple, they seemed more relaxed and friendly. Hu was also aware that the head monk liked him. He would give Hu a banana or a mango every time he came. So that's why Hu loved going to the temple. One day he said, Mommy, I want to become a monk and live in the temple. And I think he wanted to become a monk because he liked to eat bananas. I don't blame him. In Vietnam, there are several kinds of bananas that are so delicious, not just the long ones that we have here. Even though he was young, his father and mother decided to let him go to the temple as a novice. The new head monk gave Hu a tiny brown robe to wear. In his nice new robe, he must have looked like a baby monk. When he first became a monk, Hu believed that the Buddha loved bananas, mangoes, and tangerines because every time people came to the temple, they brought bananas, mangoes, and tangerines and other fruit and placed them in front of the Buddha. In Hu's little head, that could only mean that the Buddha loved fruit very much. One evening, he waited in the temple until all the visitors had gone home. He stood very quietly outside the entrance of the Buddha hall. He checked to make sure no one else was around. Then he peered into the Buddha hall. The Buddha statue was as big as a real person, in whose very young mind the statue was the Buddha. He imagined that the Buddha sat very still all day long, and when the hall was empty, he reached out for a banana, who waited and watched, hoping to see the Buddha take one of the bananas piled in front of him. He waited for a long time, but he did not see the Buddha pick up a banana. He was baffled. He could not understand why the Buddha did not eat any of the bananas that people brought to him. Who did not dare to ask the head monk because he was afraid that the monk would think that he was silly. Actually, has anybody else felt like that? A little afraid to ask a question? The same was true for Hu, and he didn't dare ask. Because he didn't dare ask, he was confused. As he grew older, one day it occurred to him that the Buddha statue was not the Buddha. And that was an achievement. This realization made him so happy. But then a new question arose. If the Buddha is not here, then where is he? If the Buddha is not in the temple, where is the Buddha? Every day he saw people come to the temple and bow to the statue of the Buddha. But where was the Buddha? Thich Nhat met Hu when he was 14, and he says that Hu was still wondering about this. He says, I explained to him that the Buddha is not far away from us. He says, I told him that the Buddha is inside each one of us. Being a Buddha is being aware of what is inside of us and around us at every moment. Buddha is the love and understanding that we each carry in our hearts. And this made Hu very happy. So when Hu grew up, he became the director of a school of social work in Vietnam. He trained young nuns and monks and young lay people to help people rebuild the villages that had been bombed during the Vietnam War. Anywhere you see love and understanding, there is the Buddha. Anyone can be a Buddha. Do not imagine that the Buddha is a statue or a doll, or someone who has a fancy halo around their head or wears a yellow robe. A Buddha is a person who is aware of what is going on inside and around them and has a lot of understanding and compassion. No, there's a lot more story.
That's very deep.
It's very deep? Yeah.
Why does the Buddha that you have a red one?
Well, they're images and versions of Buddha that come from all different cultures, right? So this is more of a very stylized doll version of a Chinese Buddha. And the one sitting in front of the chalice is from Nepal. And I don't know exactly where the one on the screen is from. I do know that that statue is in the Met now, because the Met has things from all over. So there are so many different images of the Buddha, and you could, there are so many people in the world.
Isn't the Buddha in everything?
Ooh, that's a good question. Isn't the Buddha in everything?
It kind of seems like it in the story.
Yeah.
Anything that can be noticed has some, I am mostly doing like animals.
Thinking about animals.
Yeah.
Can
Can an animal be a Buddha?
an animal be a Buddha?
Is that?
Oh, I think that would take more study. But I would say that animals can definitely have some Buddha nature to them. And Buddhism also teaches us that separation is an illusion. So there's definitely going to be some Buddha nature in all of the animals, right? Yeah.
If you look hard enough, even
If you work hard enough?
look hard enough.
Oh, if you look hard enough, yeah.
Even in single-cell organisms, if you look hard enough.
Ooh, I would love to know about the Buddha nature of an amoeba.
I'm saying that you can see that if you look deep enough and have enough data to work with.
If you look deep enough and have enough data. So it's about noticing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Laurel, do you want to tell us? Oh, we'll need that. Thank you. Do you want to tell us what's happening in religious education today?
So, for anyone who hasn't heard, this is the book that we will be doing our pageant on. And today we are going to be working all together, JYG, elementary, everyone, on our big mural for the backdrop. So it'll be a very exciting day.
Yay. Yay. Okay. So religious education classes, please follow Laurel. And the rest of us are going to sing not Be Ye Lamps, the next one. We're going to sing No Matter If You Live Now Near or Far, which is number 181 in the hymnal. There are about 320 million Buddhists worldwide, with profound differences in language, culture, belief, and practice. But the practice of taking refuge is observed by most Buddhist traditions. Here is your disclaimer, speaking of tradition. I have been taught by both Zen and Tibetan Buddhist teachers, but I have not received any Dharma transmission or been authorized to teach about Buddhism in any lineage. I speak as a learner and sometimes practitioner in the hopes that my words today will lead you to seek out communities of practice and accountability, as well as teachers who are authorized by their communities to share what they have received. My seminary Zen class began each morning with 3 bows in silence to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Our professor was not too picky. She said she didn't know what we were bowing for, but that the Buddhist way was to bow to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. If you've studied Buddhism, you might remember that these are called the 3 jewels, or 3 refuges. I have made Unitarian Universalists uncomfortable before by the idea of bowing to anything, in a Buddhist context or otherwise, or in any way expressing dependence. But this is exactly what we're talking about today. Bowing and other ways of taking refuge are an expression of dependence. If Unitarian Universalists are going to hold interdependence as one of our values, we need to get comfortable with being dependent as much as we are with others depending on us. Taking refuge in the Buddha, whether you say it out loud or not, is to trust that human beings can become enlightened, that it has happened before, and we have the wisdom of those who have experienced enlightenment to follow. This references the historical Buddha, Siddhartha. Though some Buddhist cosmologies have deities and supernatural figures, this jewel is one of possibility for human beings, just like us. Taking refuge in the Dharma means following the teachings of the Buddha, like the 4 Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. The 4 Noble Truths are this: everyone suffers. We suffer when we believe that things are separate, independent, and unchanging. Suffering ends with enlightenment. By spiritual practice, development of wisdom, and ethical living, we can become enlightened like Buddhas and stop suffering. Don't worry, this is a continuous practice, not a checklist. And the Eightfold Path is the way to do it. There are 8 things to cultivate in the categories of spiritual wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. Right view, right resolve, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. So Dharma in Sanskrit also means things. There are a lot of things, and a lot of them have numbers in the front, and they are interrelated, which makes sense. We don't have time for a comprehensive view of Dharma today or in this lifetime. Teachers have added to the Dharma with their own teachings since the death of the Buddha. There's a lot of things. Taking refuge in the Sangha historically meant viewing the monastic community of monks and nuns as part of one's spiritual path, though this has been expanded by many practitioners and communities to include the whole community of practice, monastic and lay. Either way, this is a statement of accountability. These are the people who notice when you are not keeping your commitments, whether that means nodding off during meditation or calling you on the lies you tell yourself. These gems, these 3 refuges, they are taking into one's core the idea that enlightenment is possible, there's a way to get there, and there is a community of support. Here's where Unitarian history begins to intersect with Buddhism. Though Asian immigrants began to bring Buddhism to the US 200 years ago, it was Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau who published Elizabeth Palmer Peabody's partial translation of the Lotus Sutra in 1844. This was the first English translation of any Buddhist scripture, and 3 Unitarian transcendentalists made it happen. I am simultaneously fascinated by this piece of history and a little bit worried that this is how a lot of us still interact with Buddhism, by which I mean out of context. We can debate back and forth about where the line is between appreciation and appropriation, but more than that, I worry that a la carte spirituality does us more harm than good. I think about the difference between corporatized mindfulness training and the Buddhist idea of right mindfulness. In the last few decades, workplaces, schools, healthcare systems, and even prisons have begun teaching de-spiritualized mindfulness. Being present and aware and non-judgmental is not bad. But what are our motives for practicing mindfulness? And what are the motives of our teachers? If it is to cope with working too many hours with too much pressure for not enough pay, that preserves a painful status quo. It doesn't sound very compassionate. Everyone suffers, but teaching people to be more aware of their suffering while adding to it is sadistic. That is why the 3 refuges matter. The practices of Buddhism, one part of the Dharma, they're great, but without the Buddha, the model of enlightenment, without the ethical framework, without the community of accountability, we have a bunch of moral tools being used for amoral and sometimes immoral uses. The practice of taking refuge over and over again is a practice, not a one-and-done ritual. Some people do it every morning or at the beginning of every meditation session, and I find it more compassionate to come back to this reminder, this commitment that it's okay if I'm not a Buddha yet, and I can keep coming back to the path. Our first hymn put a saying of the Buddhas, "Be ye lamps unto yourselves," with "This little light of mine," an American gospel song. "Be ye lamps" is kind of a hard one for me because one way of interpreting it is you do you, but a better interpretation is that you can't outsource your own enlightenment. Never stop discerning. This is not a time to stop questioning. Have you looked around at the world? There is so much suffering, and those who contribute to it are trying to sell it as a public good. But coming back to compassion, checking in with truth beyond propaganda, staying connected to people who hold me accountable. I can take refuge in that. heart of compassion, mind beyond mind, community of care. We are here in all of the joy and sorrow, suffering and struggle together. May we be held in compassion. May we offer ourselves compassion. May we hold one another in compassion. May we hold our compassion like a light for all. Blessed be. Amen. I invite you to remain seated to sing our meditation hymn, Filled with Loving Kindness, number 1031 in the Teal hymnal.
I'm Carolyn, member of the Dedicated Offering Committee, and today, this whole month will be dedicated to the Survival Center. I think you all know Amherst Survival Center. On the website it says they feed 40,000 people a year, but since the government was shut down and no SNAPs, I think our speaker will tell us how. Beatrice Walker, who's Director of Planning for the Survival Center, will give us a little bit of information about food insecurity in the Survival Center, and I'm sure she'll be around afterwards if you want to answer her ask her questions.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Bianca Walker. You can call me Beatrice if you like. And I serve as the Director of Development at the Amherst Survival Center. It's truly a privilege to be here this morning with you all, and I want to thank you again for welcoming me into this community. On behalf of all of us at the center, including my coworker Laurel, that I was excited to see here today. I thought she came here to see me, but she was leading the religious activities. So, so on behalf of all of us here at the center, thank you for dedicating your December offering to support our work. Your generosity will directly support thousands of neighbors across our region, and we are deeply grateful. The Amherst Survival Center began with one Amherst resident, Jane Halapa, a single mother who electricity had just been shut off and was struggling with decreased welfare. Sounds very similar to times right now. When she reached out for help, she found the process difficult and isolating, and often humiliating. She knew others in the community were experiencing the same hardships. So she was determined to create a place where people could find themselves without shame. Jane started the first Amherst Survival Center in her own basement, just a phone line and a small storage space. Soon, stacks of donated clothes filled her garage, and neighbors began coming by, inspiring her simple, powerful message: everyone's welcome, take what you need, and bring what you can spare. As the need grew, Jane passed the leadership down to Evangeline Vanjie Westcott, whose life experiences gave her deep empathy and understanding for those facing daily struggles. Vanjie led the center for more than 30 years, helping it grow and evolve while staying rooted in dignity, compassion, and mutual care, a lot of the things that we talked about here this morning. From the very beginning, volunteers have been the heart of what the Amherst Survival Center does, not just because they are needed, but they are the core of our belief. We all give, we all receive, and everyone has something to offer. More than 45 years later, the Amherst Survival Center remains a very vibrant place of nourishment, connection, and dignity. I literally look forward to going to work every day. Every day, people of all ages, backgrounds, families, children, seniors, working adults, students, individuals experiencing homelessness, board members, volunteers, staff members, you name it. And sometimes we're sitting at the table and we don't know who's who, but we're just sitting there having a great time. Walk through our doors and find not only food and services, but a very welcoming community. Because of supporters like you all, we're able to provide daily community meals, with the exception of Wednesday because we're closed. A grocery-style pantry with fresh and culturally meaningful foods. Fresh food distribution across 13 towns. So we service Amherst, but we also service 13 towns throughout Hampshire and Hampden County. And a free health clinic, showers, laundry, support with housing, employment, and essential services. So for those in our community experiencing homelessness, sometimes hygiene can be an issue. They can come to the center, they can wash their clothes, they can take a shower. That can just help them have a little bit of dignity while they're on their journey. This year alone, we've serviced more than 11,000 of our neighbors, and I can't even imagine what the numbers have been over the past couple of months. We've certainly surpassed those numbers. My connection to the Amherst Survival Center is both personal and professional. Many years ago, as a single mother myself, navigating a difficult season, because difficult seasons can happen to anyone at any time, I walked through the doors with my children, all of them up there, because I had a need, right? And I was not sure what I was going to expect, but was very surprised when I was given a grocery cart. I'm like, I can go grocery shopping? And they told me yes. And I guess in my head, my thought process was I was going to be told what type of food I was going to receive because I had a need, and put it in a brown paper bag and I'll pick out what I like and we go from there. But that just was not my experience. I was provided with food to feed my family for weeks. I went out to the car, put the groceries in the car, and they invited me for lunch. And I'm like, well, how much do I have to pay? I don't have any money. And they said it was free, and it was a delicious, well-cooked, very seasoned well meal, and I was just I was drawn to it. And so I remember a couple of months later, it was during the holiday season, I opened up my mailbox and there was an envelope, and inside of the envelope it said, because I was a participant at the center, I received a $200 gift certificate to go shopping at the Hadley Mall, and this was a complete surprise, and I was very moved, but I packed my kids up, and I'm like, you guys have $75 each, just go to town. And so that experience really, it is forever embedded in my mind, and when I saw that they were hiring for a director of development, I was like, oh, I guess I have a new job, hence this is why I'm speaking in front of all of you. So I just wanted to say that experience has shaped me profoundly. It guides how I show up to work every single day with gratitude, compassion, and a commitment to ensuring every person that comes to the center feels seen, supported, and valued just as I did. So your support today helps carry forward that vision that began in a basement with a single mother trying to help her community. It ensures we can continue to meet the growing needs, nourishing families, and offering a place that is welcoming where help is met with dignity and respect. Thank you all for your generosity, your shared values, your commitment to building a more compassionate and connected community. We truly could not do this without you. And as a single mother, I just wanted to say, send in light to your daughter, and we will make it. Tell her she will be okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, Bianca. Thank you, Carolyn. As we say, another world is possible. We collect the offering and we split it with the outside organization to help us remember that we can't make the world a better place on our own. During December, our congregation shares half of our Sunday service offering basket with the Amherst Survival Center. Please give generously today in the basket, by text, by check, or through our website, uusocietyamherst.org/donate. Please join me in the words to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. We are about to sing our closing song. You are welcome to stay right where you are and be held in the love of our congregation, or to rise and move into a circle through our aisles, place your hands over your heart, or hold hands with someone near you as we sing This Day We Come, now back on the wall in addition to the screen. You are here. Go in peace.